What's up everybody, Dakota Shane here. I'm the co-founder of Copy Buffs. We're a copywriting agency based right here in Los Angeles, and I'm also a columnist for Inc. magazine where I write on everything related to content marketing. And today I'm gonna walk you through the 7 steps that I actually used from never writing a marketing article in my life to eventually landing a book deal with one of the top literary business book agents in the game this past year. So gonna show you guys how I did it, and I know you guys can do the same thing. All right, so step 1 is you always want to be creating content online. You know, nowadays the landscape has changed with books, unfortunately. Publishing houses, literary agents, they really want to minimize risk as much as possible. So if you have a social media audience, if you have a large email list, there's nothing that minimizes risk more than that, because they know you'll be able to drive sales. So if you don't have an audience online already or an audience somewhere, it's really unlikely that you'll land a big time book deal nowadays. It's just how the game is now. So to start, if you haven't done so already, you're gonna wanna pick a niche, a laser focused niche, and then pick 1 to 2 social media platforms and just start creating content around that niche. Become a thought leader. The key to landing a book deal, the fastest way to land a book deal nowadays is to become a thought leader, and it's just how it is now. You know, for me, when I first started writing marketing articles online, I actually hopped on Medium, which is kind of the YouTube for written content if you're unfamiliar, and eventually clawed my way up to slightly bigger blogs, and then eventually Inc. magazine, and eventually signed on with the literary agent that I have. So that's kind of the process that you'll want to shoot for. Step number 2 is network. You know, if you know the top minds, the top influencers, people in your industry, they'll be able to cross promote your book when it actually comes out. And this is one of the biggest pieces of positive feedback that I got on my book proposal, was all the people that I had built these relationships up with over the years, and they can have a potential blurb on the back cover. They can potentially take it and promote it on their own social media channels. So this is one of the biggest things. Start making those relationships now, whatever industry you're in. Hit somebody up on Twitter, LinkedIn, stalk them, just hit them in the DMs, whatever you have to do. Build those relationships up, add value, because eventually they'll help you leverage that book, which will increase the chances you land a book deal. All right, step number 3 is test your book idea beforehand. This is one of the greatest things about creating content online, is you're able to see if your book idea even holds weight, even resonates with your intended audience. So if you had a blog post that went viral or a YouTube video that went viral, there's a seed there, there's something there, there's proof points that you can leverage for the agent and publishing houses that, hey, this idea, this content really resonates with my audience. Why not expand upon it into a book? So that's step number 3.
Cool, man.
All right, step number 4 is you're gonna want to write a kick-ass book proposal. I'm talking go the extra mile, put in graphics, use Canva if you're not a designer or don't have any. Yep, let's redo it. All right. Step number 4 is you're gonna want to write a kick-ass book proposal. You know, really go the extra mile with it, put in visuals. I know Google Docs actually has templates for book proposals specifically that you can use. Canva's another free tool to add icons and graphics, all types of stuff. Make it visually stand out. And as for the actual structure of it, the elements that the book agents want to see, and it actually turns out there's not a lot of material online that actually has the templates for business book proposals, for book proposals in general. You know, it took me a really long time. I had to dig deep when I first started, but actually we created a post that has this outline step by step for you. We're gonna link it up in the description. We have it on the Copy Buffs blog for you. So we could have a whole entire video on this. We don't want to bore you too much, 25-30 minutes. We'll make a video going forward, but if you want to have the actual template, be sure and visit that Copy Buffs article that we're linking below. So step number 5 is you're gonna wanna write a great query letter to agents. You know, and I say agents because when you're doing your book outreach, you're actually gonna wanna target the agents as opposed to the publishing houses, because nowadays most publishing houses don't actually accept unsolicited pitches by people who aren't represented by agents. So you're gonna wanna have a few components, and actually actually, in that article, linked in the description below, I actually show you the exact email template that I used to end up signing with the literary agent that I have. So there's a few components that you're going to want to have in this email, in this letter. The first is a title. What's your title? What makes you qualified to write this book? And make sure you have links that prove who you are, that prove you walk the walk. So if you, again, have a viral blog post, a viral YouTube video, include that link right in the email so the agent, agents are super busy people. You want to have everything right in that email where they can click out, see, oh wow, this person generated 10,000 views, 10,000 comments on their blog post. They're fucking awesome. You're going to want to have that in there. And then a quick little blurb. Don't go too deep. Don't get too detailed in this email. You're going to want a 2-sentence summary of what your book is about and if they would like to see your book proposal or not. So those are the key elements. But again, check out that article that we're linking in the description to show you step by step what I use to get that. Step number 6 is scoping out the agents and making a list of the agents that you're actually going to be reaching out to. So you have your template, you have the proofing, you have the audience, you have the content that you're regularly publishing online, but where do you find these agents? This was something I had to go through and really takes a lot of legwork to dig it up. But a few places to start is actually this site called Publishers Marketplace. And the site looks something straight out of the 1990s. It's so shitty, but it's really a useful tool. It's $25 a month, and this will show you the contact details for people, the agents, and it goes into genre, it goes into what their preferences are. So it's definitely something that's useful when doing it. You can sign up for just a month, $25 to get these contact details. Definitely worth it. You can also go more old school in it and just Google. There's the top agents will have good SEO in your genre. So type in your genre and then literary book agents, and there should be go through the first 3 pages, get the contact details that way. Another easy way to scope out book agents is actually on LinkedIn, where you can search by job title. So just go up to the search bar, type in book agent, and end up connecting with those people. Tell them, give them a quick note in your connection request of what your book is about, why you think that it would add value to them. Always make it about the agent. And another way you can do it is just use your network. That network that we were talking about earlier, ask them, hey, what book agent represented you when you had your book deal? And maybe they can make a connection. Maybe they can make an email intro. You never know. Another tactic too is target people with a chip on their shoulder. If you are trying to get with this really high profile top agent, why not try and find the details on their assistant? Why not try and find the details on who their office manager is? These people that have something to prove in the game, they want skin in the game with it. This will actually be ideal, because if it's a good idea, who doesn't want to be the person that found that and hands it to the agent, someone that already has an established relationship with these agents? So just another little trick to consider there. And the last thing to remember here is it really is a numbers game. You hear the stories all the time, how many rejections J.K. Rowling got, how many rejections Tim Ferriss got. For me, it was around 40 rejections that I got for the book proposal. So just keep hammering away. Don't get discouraged. If it doesn't work one time, just keep creating content online and come back 6, 12 months down the road and try the same thing. But it really, really is a numbers game. All right, and the final step with how to land a book deal is, if you don't get responses, which isn't that unlikely, like I said, it's a numbers game in the last point, rinse and repeat. Go back to creating content online, go back to what you know, continue to build up your audience. You can never go wrong with building up an online audience. And maybe it just isn't the right time for that book. Who knows, maybe 3 years down the road, you're not even sold on the idea of the book anymore. So rinse and repeat. If this doesn't work, return back to it 6, 12 months down the road and just continue going until you find that agent that has your best interest in mind and that you can work with and you're confident in. But again, don't get discouraged, rinse and repeat, and go back to what you know. All right, guys, well, that wraps it up. That's the 7-step process that I use to sign with that literary agent. and we really hope you liked the video. If you liked it, be sure and like, comment, subscribe, and also head on over to the CopyBuffs blog, copybuffs.com, and click on the blog tab. We're really trying to cultivate a community of kick-ass writers and really get people involved here. We want to build a community as opposed to just creating content online for you guys. So head on over, subscribe to our newsletter, and we'll see you next time.